Welcome back, guys. It's been a while since I last posted. Now, for those who are new, my name is Rudy, and we are in sunny Southern California in Zone 9B. And in today's video, we are doing a garden tour for the month of June. Now, normally for these garden tours, I would clean things up a bit, but honestly, I want to show you what the garden looks in its raw form. It's not always that our garden is going to be in tip-top shape, but regardless of what it looks like, let's go ahead and start the tour. Now the first thing I want to show you guys is a new addition. We have a brand new wall in the back. If you guys have been following along for some time, you know we had a fence here in the back, but we recently installed a wall. Now I'm definitely excited about this wall. I definitely want to put a mural that's going to basically expand the entire length of the wall. Now I've already asked my uncle to do a portion of the wall. However, if you guys have any suggestions in mind, maybe some local artists in the Southern California area, near and around Los Angeles, let me know down in the comments. Now on top of the new addition to the wall, I've cleared out this entire section and I'm soon to add some more raised beds on this side. And I have a few different layouts that I have in mind, but I'm still playing around with. But I'm definitely excited about this area along with the wall. Alright guys, so first I want to show you guys a crowded patio. Just a different variety of things. Just got some tomatoes in the back, some peppers here in the front, a whole tray of feverfew, lemon balm, chives, more feverfew, some parsley, lettuces, cilantro. Chamomile here is already spent, and some more peppers and tomatoes. I want to mention all the plants you're seeing today either reseeded from last year or I started from seed this year. Now the only plant that I was bought and purchased was this dahlia here. Now you do not have to start all of your plants from seed like I do. I do have the proper space and a seedling area to do so, but no way do you have to start everything from seed. Now it is more cost effective to start your plants via seeds. However, if you don't have the time and you do have the money, by all means buy the plants that you need. You can see a lot of weeds, a lot of grass is growing in. And this pot here was various lavender and volunteer, I think violas. I gotta clean this pot up, reuse it. Here we got some Indian peace pipe. These Indian peace pipe have just exploded in this bed here. They were, again, started from seed. I transplanted them about maybe 5 to 6 inches tall. And since then, they've just exploded. I didn't realize that they can get this big. I mean, look how thick the stalk is. It is pretty thick. This plant is very beautiful in my opinion. And the thing that I like about this plant is that the entire plant, excluding the flowers, is very sticky. So it has like a resin on it. And you can see a lot of bugs just land on it and basically get stuck. It's like a natural sticky trap. And here we have the bed of mostly chamomile, but as you can see, it's already spent. I was able to harvest and dry about 2 32-ounce jars. Now I definitely could have gotten more out of it. However, I did run out of drying room. I definitely got to pull the trigger on a dehydrator. So if you guys do have any recommendations for a dehydrator, specifically one that doesn't take up too much real estate in the kitchen, let me know. Along with some calendula that's also ready to be pulled out. Might even have some powdery mildew. You can see the whitish specks, this powdery mildew. So definitely got to come out here and clean out this bed. And here was some volunteer hemp. I definitely did not plant that. You can see how long and spindly it is. And being underneath the canopy of grapes, it's not getting any sun. So it's not doing too well here. So this bed definitely needs to be refreshed and planted, maybe with some lettuces and some more shade-loving plants here. But you can definitely see the grass has just gotten out of hand. It's coming through the cracks. And again, as mentioned, here's the grapes where it starts off in this bed here. And I've managed it to where I don't want it to go on this side of the trellis anymore. I want it to stay over here. However, it's just, you can see how heavy things have gotten. You can see that the trellis here, the makeshift trellis that I made out of this dog kennel and wire fencing, you can see here that it's just bowing. So I definitely got to cut this back. I want to train it properly. I've just kind of let it grow wild. And I have collected quite a lot last year along with the previous year. So this is the third year that I'm going to be able to collect grapes. However, with it being so dense like this, I'm not going to be able to collect a lot. And it's just not the optimal way. You see here that the grapes are very small and they won't get any bigger than this. So it's much better to prune back the grape. Let's swing through here. Now we have the lemon tree, which, as you know, I've said, you know, in most of my garden tours that I want to take this out, and I've already started to take some cuttings here, which is what these are. So once I take these cuttings successfully and start planting them out into their own pots, I'll go ahead and rip this out because it does produce quite well. I mean, you can see that there's some lemons that are starting to yellow, you know, a few here and there, but it's just right in the middle of the garden. A lot of the beds on this side are shaded out since this is the south, and then lots of sun comes in this way, but it shades out a lot of that bed there. And it's just kind of, I don't know, in the way to me. So I feel like if we open this up, maybe you can have a small planter here, or maybe another raised bed, I don't know, I'm not too sure, but I definitely want this out of the way just to open things up more. Now if we swing back around here, we have the cup and saucer vining plant here. It makes these beautiful flowers. The hummingbirds love these. Now, what's crazy is that all of this entire plant starts off in this 10-gallon pot here. It's not even in any of these beds. It's actually from there. And I didn't expect it to get this big. And I have cut it back quite a few times because it is getting, it was going towards the other side where you'll see those flowers right at the top right there. Those are sweet peas, which I'll show you guys in a bit. But they were kind of competing, so I had to cut back the vines a little bit, but it's still continuing to grow. But in this bed here, we have a variety of different bulbing onions. And here's some lettuces that have gone to seed. There's a few. Got to pull some of these out. And then here's a calendula, and this is a volunteer, I want to say zinnia. Could be a weed, I'm not too sure exactly. And then there's some leftover nasturtium, which again was another volunteer that reseeded through the cracks here. Let's take you through here. All right, so here, where it gets a little crowded. So swing you guys around here. This here is catnip, along with some strawberries and sage, some more strawberries and calendula there. And we have some more catnip. I have been trying to increase the amount of herbs that I have in my garden, and I have been collecting quite a few. So catnip does make a great herb and tea, so it's not just for cats. Here we have some interplanted strawberries, and there are some flowers getting produced, but haven't collected any strawberries just yet. Now here some more marigolds, and there is a cucumber here mixed in. And we have this volunteer straw flower. Now if you don't know, they call straw flower because the flower on camera looks like any other flower, but once you fill it, it feels like paper. And honestly, I really do enjoy the straw flower. It does grow very tall, so it definitely needs to be staked. I'm sure you can manicure it in a way to have it more bushier. However, since this is a volunteer, I just let it grow and do its thing. But I didn't want to pull it out, so just staked it up. with looks like 2, maybe 3. I think there's a stake there in the middle, and I just wrapped it up with some string, and that's kind of just managed it to just grow straight up. And this does make a very good cut flower, so I'll come out and make my own little bouquets of flowers here and there just to spruce things up inside. But to finish off this bed, but here I have 2 more cucumbers that I'm using the lower and lean method. So using this string to basically attach, and it'll grow up these 2 strings here. Here is a sweet pea. Now this is my first year growing sweet peas. Maybe last month, maybe a month and a half ago, it started to flower. And wow, if you've never smelled sweet pea flowers before, it is truly amazing smell. I think for these seeds, it was a mixture of colors. So this one ended up turning out to be white. And if we look on that side, we got a variety of colors. But if we swing back around here, so more volunteer straw flower than those hanging pots there. We got some overwintered peppers in that pot. And then this is a bushing variety of tomato. I can't see the tag here. Here we have some artichoke. Now, they have been getting hit with some aphids, and I recently came in with a neem mixture and sprayed it down. And it seems to have helped, but they're still there. I gotta come in with a spray nozzle and just spray them out of here. But yeah, they're taking a hit. I would have been able to harvest at least 1 or 2 of these heads, but I think because the aphids are on them, it's, you know, sucking the life out of them. So I don't think this year I'll be able to get any artichokes. In this back bed here, we have some overwintered peppers, more overwintered peppers. These are the smaller orange sweet peppers. But on this side is a bed of feverfew. As I said before, I've been trying to increase the amount of herbs, specifically for medicinal uses. Feverfew can help with a variety of ailments, including fever, which is the reason why they call it feverfew. Now here is the dahlia cactus flower. So this is a different variety of dahlia. There's actually 2 planted here. So there's one on this side of the stake, and then second one on this side of the stake. So it is starting to flower. Now in this bed, I planted some more calendula on this side of the bed. In the middle row, I planted more of the dahlia flower, same as this one here in the middle row. And on this side, we have a different varieties of cantaloupe and melons. So this one here looks like it's the cantaloupe honey rock variety. So this one here and this one. Now on this side, we have some more volunteer chamomile. Again, chamomile specifically will reseed itself readily and easily, as you can see. But originally what was in this bed and what still is in this bed is more onion bulbs. I forgot the variety because the tag there got sun bleached. So I know they are a bulbing onion. I just don't know what variety. Just scoop this on through. And then here's Brad's Atomic Grape tomato. So I planted this here in its own pot, and I plan to grow it, you know, on this side of the trellis, which is the reason why I'm trying to cut back the grape. I need to come in here and trim it some more, since I don't want it to cascade over this trellis here. I wanted to stay more on that side. And we have the jasmine here growing on this side of the fence. There's another cactus along with the dragon fruit here. We are starting to flower. Now, one thing that I want to mention, and I have mentioned before, for this particular variety or any variety that you plan to grow, make sure that it is a self-pollinating variety. This variety here, unfortunately, needs the pollen of another dragon fruit in order to produce fruit. What's gonna end up happening is this fruit is just gonna eventually fall off and die. Now, I've had this dragon fruit for, I wanna say, close to 3 years now, and I've unfortunately never had fruit from it. I've gotten close, I just haven't had anyone to be able to produce me or to be able to give me any pollen to pollinate these fruit. So unfortunately, each year they continue to grow and then just continue to fall off. But if you know anyone in, again, the Los Angeles area that can give me any dragon fruit pollen, that would be very helpful. Swing back around, let's go towards the middle here. Again, it is crowded. We have some mint that I just harvested, some more mint here surrounding this overwintered pepper, but this is definitely a dead pepper that didn't overwinter properly. Another volunteer Indian peace pipe, and we got the canna here, which if you haven't seen my previous grow series, go ahead and check that out. It'll be in my channel in its own playlist. But here are the cuttings of the last grow series that we had. So I stuck them out here and they are starting to flower. And just one last, these are some zinnias, more specifically the Queen Lime blush zinnias. And there are 2 in this pot as well. Nice little flower. And let's swing back to this last bed here. This was Yarrow, another volunteer. But for these grow bags, if you do end up using grow bags, and another reason why I haven't been moving these as well is with using grow bags, the plants, if they are in contact with soil, I know this isn't soil, but there's soil underneath this gravel, the plant will tend to grow through the grow bag into the soil that it comes into contact with. And this is exactly what's happening with these mints here. And that's what happened with this yarrow. So a lot of the roots that were coming down through the grow bag, I had moved it, yanked it out, and since then it just hasn't been able to recuperate. So it's definitely need to be pulled out and the pot needs to be reused. But that's why I've kind of left these bags here. And lastly, this last bed here, we have a variety of tomatoes. Here is more Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes. And we got some pineapple tomatoes here on this side, along with some echinacea down the middle here, here, and there. And there's some more marigolds there at the end, and some more calendula. So you notice I have increased the amount of flowers, and a lot of these are beneficial flowers. Yeah, this native soil here is quite rocky. You can see there's just like a ton of rocks, which made it that much more of a hassle to move things out. Here's some leftover collards, the last 2 of the season. It is getting hit by caterpillars, why it looks eaten. Same thing for this one. And I've just replanted some lettuces here. You can't really tell, but there are little lettuce heads that are popping out that'll eventually grow. And this last sweet pea here, there is, I think, 3, there used to be 4. Ended up ripping one out, but this is just different variety, different colors. I have been battling powdery mildew on this one. You can see here. For this plant as well, I've been using neem oil spray to hinder it. It won't get rid of it, unfortunately, but it will kind of suppress it for some time. I do want to collect a lot more flowers, and it just smells so good to rip out just yet. But I know it's just a losing battle. This powdery mildew will eventually overtake the entire plant. I would say about this half down has the powdery mildew, and you know, this top is fairly clean, which is the reason why I'm coming out here and just spraying it down, just to keep the flowers for, you know, maybe another month or so, till eventually I'm gonna have to rip it out. And last thing to show is the hyssop here. Again, another medicinal herb for the garden that is also another great pollinator attractant. And that is it, guys. It is starting to get a little dark. Sun is starting to set, and it is time to end the video. As always, I do appreciate you guys all so much for watching and tuning in. If you haven't already, think about clicking the subscribe icon right below me, and you can click on any of the thumbnails to the side of me if you want to see more content like this. This is Rudy with Guevara Garden signing off and letting you know you won't get a harvest if you don't sow seeds.